Hey everybody, this is Wishful. Could not sleep. So I decided I am going to just do a live. I know, it's weird. I'm actually live at 2:15 in the morning or 2:13 in my 2:14 in my time. If you're awake and listening, good morning. If it's later for you or late in the good morning, good evening. Hope everybody's day or weekend is going to be okay. Uh, well, I'm just up. I can't sleep. I just can't sleep at the moment. I guess just everything that's going on. I come to YouTube all the time. I've always come to YouTube. Been on YouTube for a while. Listen to YouTube for a while. Never did I think that this YouTube was going to get this crazy, but it is. It is so crazy right now. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's just because it's a full moon. Is it because people got their drinks spiked? I don't know. But this place has gone crazy. Everybody's at each other. You gotta be careful what you say. You don't want to insult anybody. You don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. This one is at this one's neck, and you're like, okay. And then you got people who are really, really touchy. So you got to be real careful, or you wind up on documents that you need not to be on, like a RICO. Just saying. These are my opinions and my opinions alone. Please do not go out showing hate to anyone in the chat or anywhere else out on YouTube. Thank you very much. Let's all be kind. I just don't understand. This world has gone crazy right now. I live in the US of A. We just got through a crazy election. And yes, I'm talking about the election for a minute. And so right now, we're going through a crazy election. We went through a crazy election. So everybody is like at each other. And I come to YouTube to sometimes get away, but it's still crazy here. And then I hear people say, well, everybody's worried about what everybody's saying on YouTube and what's going on YouTube and this on YouTube. Actually, not true. I worry about all my friends and people that are out here in the world I live in. I have friends and families that I don't know that they might be pulled away from each other because they're undocumented. I don't know if, people have the health care that they need. I know veterans that might lose their health care. Kids who are like me, who are special needs, who might wind up losing their IEPs because they want to gut the education centers, the Department of Education. You got people who wants to take away women's right to choose over their bodies. You got men now walking around saying their body, our bodies, our rights. No, it's our bodies. But you got people literally walk around saying that our body is their rights now. And this is what I think about. I don't think about who the hell is doing who or what's going on YouTube when I get off of this thing. I just come on here just to have fun. I just sometimes come on to make friends because right now the world that I live in it's kind of nuts to go out. You got people at each other's neck, not only now on the real world but on YouTube. You can't even have a conversation without somebody like, If you say something wrong, then you might get yelled at, you might get screamed at, you might have people telling you that you're wrong, or make you feel like you did something wrong. Or if you in this chat, you're wrong for being in this chat. Or you shouldn't be in this chat because this is not the right chat. That's not cool. That's not what I came to YouTube for. I came to YouTube just to make friends. I come to YouTube to listen to different point of views. I listen, that's my thing. I like going to meet different people. In real life, I'm a very friendly person. I'm a very social person. I love socializing with people. And sometimes I really love, talking to people and hearing different points of views in life. Just like I've talking to Trump supporters, and I'm not a Trump supporter, but I have talking to them, and they have talking to me, and we might not have the same point of views, but in the end, we are all human. We all bleed blood, so we need to be talking to each other, not at each other, and that's what makes me sad. And sometimes I feel like I should just delete my, YouTube and not come on YouTube. So therefore there won't be, conflicts, and I won't feel like I have to be in this chat and don't go in this chat so that I don't get in trouble on this chat. And that's not fair. We should all be able to go to different chats and talk freely and be free. In this chat, I will give you that. If you want to talk freely, you are welcome to talk freely in my chat. Only thing I ask is please be respectful. Don't call each other names. You could have different points of views, but it don't have to be name calling or putting belittle each other just to make your point. Make your point, but you don't have to be rude about it. That's the only thing I ask. Other than that, have fun, talk to each other. And that's what I wish everybody would just do, is talk to each other. It is so crazy that no one talks to each other anymore. Everybody's just fighting with each other. Everybody's just bickering with each other for what? Please let me know, why are we all bickering? And so these are my opinions and my opinions alone. These are my feelings and my feelings alone. Like right now, this little boy who's missing, Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. This thing has gone like over his head. It's not even about him anymore. It's not. It's not about the little boy no more. And he ain't even a little boy, he's a teenager. He's like 15 years old. His birthday, I think, is next month, I believe. He went missing on February 26th of this year. And the sad thing is, it's not about him anymore. And God forbid if you say something, you're you're the asshole or the jerk for saying something, especially if it's not what everybody wants you to say. Like, you have to be a team, this one or this one, or you're a jerk. And I'm not team this one or that one. I just want the little boy, I just want the young man to come home. I just want him found and going home. But for real, I don't know if I would want to go back home. I'm being honest. I mean, why would I want to go back to all of this? And two things can be at the same time. You could feel bad for a parent and people but you can also say that they're wrong about doing stuff. And I feel horrible for all the parents that are going through this. All his, his mother, his stepfather, his biological father, the grandparents, the cousins, the anyone who's related to him. But only thing I see is a mockery right now, a really nasty mockery. A Rico, really? People's feelings got hurt, and now they're doing a Rico. And that's horrible because that's not what the court system is for. And then when something really happens, the court system is tied up because people are doing dumb things with the court system. I think that if you're going to use the court system, at least use it for something that is meaningful. Giving a RICO to a person because you have your feelings hurt or because someone is not saying something you like is not cool. Do I believe that the parents did something to this child? No, I do not. I don't think none of the parents, the grandparents, anyone did anything to this child. But I do think that people needs to chill out and needs to sit down and kind of look at the situation. They're asking why people are stepping away, why people are backing off of this case. Why is people not looking into their situation? This is why, because people do not want to get caught up in this stuff because it's no longer about the child. Sorry, not sorry. They're not thinking about the child anymore. They're not thinking about the kid. It's now grievances and who did this and who did that to a person. And that's not what we should be about. And that's what YouTube have become, grievances. And I mean, instead of yelling at each other, I think we should be yelling to each other, you know. Instead of yelling, at each other, we should be talking to each other. Not at each other, but to each other. We should be having conversations. I'll give you a good example. I will actually give Wispy and Goodnunya bad credit tonight. A misunderstanding happened. You know what happened? The two went up on panel and they both discussed it. And by the end of it, it was over because they talked to each other, not at each other. They talked to each other. It wasn't, you said this and I'm going to, blast you out or curse you out. No, they went up there. She went up there, explained her reasoning. She told her reasoning, and they came to an agreement or, agreed to disagree, and they went on their way. And that was it. And I thought that was cool. Everything else, it was irrelevant. I just thought that was so cool. They were talking to each other, not at each other, to each other. And that's the biggest problem. And that's the other problem is that, leave people alone. If they want to go to different chats, let them be. Why are you telling them where they should go or who they should like or who they should go and chill with? You are not people's parents. You do know that pull people away from you because people don't like being told what to do. They come on here because they want to come on here. And FYI, if a person is giving to that channel money or, super chats or anything else in that chat, it pretty much means that they like what they see, or they like the chat, or they understand the uh, the person who's talking, the host. It's like a musician. If you like the music, you continue listening to the music. So that is usually why people usually, pay to that channel. Okay, you know what? I like what I hear. I like what I see. So, you know what? I'm going to subscribe and pay to this channel because I like what I see. It's just like public television, like PBS. People pay the PBS because they like what they see. It's the same things with any other chats. People pay because they like what they see. When it gets really messed up is when people are out there exploiting kids or people at their most vulnerable times. As they would, yeah, would call them tragedy trolls or tragedy pimps. Those people are the ones that kills me. They take and go off of people's tragedies, you know, and it's sad to see that, people attacking people over a tragedy, whether it's a missing child or a child who's unalived or something like that. It's sad to hear stuff like this and not feel something. And for some people, this is real for them. Some people can't get out like that. Some people don't have places they can go. Some people find YouTube as a way of getting away from places. There are some people who can't leave their homes, who are homebound. So they go on YouTube, and this is their way of making friends. And just because they're on here making friends, or, doesn't make your feelings invalid, or, things like that. Our feelings are valid. And you should never let no one ever make your feelings feel invalid. Your feelings are your feelings, whether they like it or not. And if that is what you feel, then feel what you feel. Don't let nobody change your mind or tell you that your feelings is invalid, because it's not. I've we all are different. Everybody has different ways of dealing with stuff. There are people who, are very, very outgoing, and there are some people who are sensitive. There are some people who are introverts, and some are, very social. There are some of us who are awkward. I know I am the awkward type. But it's just crazy on these YouTube streets. People just needs to chill. And the bad thing about it is we are at what, November 16th? We are at November 16th, 2024. Next month will be December. We will come to Hanukkah, Christmas, and then New Year's Eve. And then there will be a new year. It will be 2025. Can we please come to an agreement for 2025 to leave all of this garbage behind? Because if y'all gonna come in the new year with this, I do not want to be here with that, because that is horrible. The new year is coming, and this is how we leave this year. I mean, God, everybody's at each other's neck, and everybody's screaming at each other and fighting with each other over some things, that are very, very painful, and some of that happened years ago. And I can't say it's invalid because that's your feelings. And I'm not going to sit there and downplay your feelings because those are your feelings. But can we come to an agreement that all of this attacking each other and calling each other's names and oh my God, the doxing people, leave people's families alone, you fucking weirdos. I'm gonna say it again, you fucking weirdos. Do not fuck with people's families. That's a way that you can kind of get yourself ended, like end stream. Yeah, you can end your stream like that. And I mean that in a metaphoric and literal sense. Okay? Fucking with people's families is not a good idea. I don't care how much they say on YouTube. Leave people's families the fuck alone. You got a problem with me? Deal with me. Don't fuck with my family. They're assholes. That's fucking weird. Yeah, if you do shit like that, I'm gonna call you a weirdo. Anyone who fuck with people's family, yeah, you're a weirdo. When you go stalking people's family, you're a weirdo. When you start, making calls to people's family or looking up people's family on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or TikTok, yeah, you're a freaking weirdo. Or Snapchat, yeah, you're a fucking weirdo. There is no reason why you should be doing shit like that. I don't care how fucking much people say. Words are very powerful, but googly muggly. You fuck with people's family and then wonder why they going crazy on you. That is why. And the bad thing is one day y'all gonna do that and we're gonna hear something on the news and y'all ain't gonna like what we hear. Cause there are people out there that are not too fond of that kind of crap. You fucking with people family, doing dumb shit, stalking people family, you know, got one freaking YouTuber who was told literally by a judge, literally was told by a judge to leave this family alone. This family do not exist to you. And what do? You go and get the child's name tattooed on your body and get the wrong things put onto your tattoo. And they told you to leave this family alone, but no, you want to go and fuck with the family. You literally jump out of your car. And the thing about it is like you lie about it. Like, I did not do this shit. And you got it on YouTube. If you're gonna lie about it, don't put it on YouTube. That is the most freaking way, number one way of definitely telling on yourself. That's one way of telling on yourself. You planted it on YouTube like a badge of honor. Did go and lie and says, I didn't do that. Oh, yeah, you did. It's all over the internet. And then try to make yourself as the freaking victim when you freaking with the family. Dude, Ed, dude, really? That's crazy. But I'm gonna let you know something. You keep doing that, you're gonna fuck with the wrong family. You're gonna fuck around and find out. Seriously, gonna fuck around find out. You're gonna fuck with the wrong family here. You will fuck around and find out. And the only thing I'm gonna say is, I told you. I told you. Because somebody else might not take fondly. You might not get a big time on this one, but yeah, you keep it up. You gonna fuck with the wrong family. Now look at you. Now you gotta take your ass to a courtroom and hope to God they don't put your ass in jail, which they probably will and need to do. Maybe they'll give you the idea to leave people the fuck alone. They told you to leave them alone. The judge told you to leave them the fuck alone, but no, you don't want to do that. You want to be Miss Big and Bad and Miss High and Mighty. I when they take away your freedom, it ain't nobody fault but your own because you want to play Miss Fuck Around and find out. See, if a judge tell me to leave somebody the fuck alone, I'ma heed to that warning because I listen. I do value my freedom, and I do not want to be sitting up in nobody's jail cell or prison with anybody named Bertha or anything else passed around like cigarettes. No, thank you. I'm good, and that was a joke. Okay, I'm good. I am not a fighter, not unless I have to, and I ain't trying that. Nah, I'm good. And yeah, we do have the First Amendment. Everybody has that First Amendment. But there is a certain limit that we do have with the First Amendment, which is the freedom of speech and press. There is a certain line of limits that we do have to abide by. And if we don't, we can get ourselves in trouble. The First Amendment is a very powerful thing to have. And I don't understand it. And that might even be taken away. There's so many things that might be taken away from us. And that shit is scary. This is what keeps me up at night. Not what goes on YouTube, but what goes on in this world right now. I am very scared of what might happen in this world. I am terrified. I know everybody else is like they made their bed, but they could lie in it. But guess what? We are lying in that shit too. Because if some shit happens, we stuck. We're the ones that are, those who are stuck here have to, live by this. And I was here for the first term, and now I'm here for the second term. And the first term was crazy, so I don't know what the second term might be. And this guy already told us already he wants to be a dictator on the first day, which scares the shit out of me because I know people who live in places that are, that lives in places that are dictators, and that shit is scary. That shit is very scary. I don't do well to dictators at all. I see what people in North Korea and Russia and China have to go through, and that shit is not something I would want to live under. I like having the First Amendment. I like having my freedoms, freedom to love who I want to love, freedom to study whatever religion and culture I wish. But now the freedoms are being taken away. The freedom of having my rights to my own body. I had more freedom than my daughter right now has. That tells you something. I'm like 47. My daughter is 23. I have more rights in my day than she has now. In certain states, there are women who are literally dying because they bleed out in bathrooms. And no, that is not a hyperbole or people just saying things like that. No, there are really people who are literally, bleeding out and having problems when they have miscarriages or, if God forbid, if they're having some kind of medical emergency. because the states that they're in, they're not allowed to have these procedures done. And God forbid, God forbid if you go into a hospital and you need that procedure done, or you can die. And they're like, we can't do anything because they're scared that they could lose their license or even their freedom. That's scary as shit. That's what keeps me up at night. The fact that somebody can literally take away freedoms for people to love who they want to love. People could be segregated and told that they can go to different schools because of the color of their skin or religion. There are about 1,000 people known as dreamers here, you know, and they are in a tailwind because at any time these people can get really ignorant and decide to take the dreamers and deport them. Or you have thousands of people who can just be pulled from their families. And I remember the first time the kids got pulled from their families. Who can never forget that cry of that little girl when she was taken from her parents? And there are still children out here today who sadly never got back to their parents in the first term. There are children who literally died while I was in custody because they didn't get the proper care. And then you got these people who are here, who are legally here. And if, God forbid, they decide, okay, you know what, we just want this certain people here, they have this ability that they could take somebody and snatch you from your home and say, well, you're not from here. And guess what? Send you to a country that you don't even come from. That's scary. And these people tell this guy that he has no immunity. He has certain immunity. So he feels that he got power. That's some scary shit. This man is literally being told he got power, extreme power. And oh my God, that is the stuff that keeps me up at night. Not what this person did or who this person is or who give this person and their chats and stuff. Nah, man, this is minor to me. This is nothing to me considering what's going on in the world right now. You got Putin out here celebrating that Trump is in office because he can use him as his puppet. And God forbid that happen. Flattery is his best gift. And if they flatter him enough, we can have all kinds of shit happen here. They don't believe in climate change. So God forbid when we have major storms. What the hell? I don't know what that was. Okay. Oh, something just came in. Hold on. Hold on. We got people, we got people who don't believe in climate change. So God forbid if a next storm comes in, a whole lot of people might be fucked. And I don't know about anybody else, but I do believe in climate change. Okay? Where I'm at, we haven't had rain in a long time. And it didn't even rain. It sprinkled here. We got wildfires and we literally got drought watch in New Jersey right on the opposite side of us. I'm in Philadelphia. On the opposite side of us in New Jersey, they got a drought warning, meaning they literally have to certain times with their water. They have to turn their waters off. They can't use their water like that. Our climate is getting warmer, 1 degree every year. And if you don't take care of the earth will take care of us. Just saying. And don't get me started on the people that he got who he wants to put into office. You got one guy who wants to gut the Affordable Care Act. That means people who got pre-existing conditions. That is really bad because if you have a pre-existing condition, they can take you off your insurance. So someone say having epilepsy, that's a pre-existing condition, and they get taken off their medical care, yeah, that could be deadly. You have big pharma out there that could up the cost of insurance for drugs. So people who need medical care that need certain medications have to pay more than certain people that don't need medications. Oh, did I forget? They want to put this one guy who's don't believe in vaccination, who kept making the insinuation that vaccination causes autism. Yeah, this guy is. They want to put this guy as the caretaker for health, human and health services. Yeah, that's going to be a hoot. He wants to literally stop processes of diseases and stuff, studies on diseases and stuff to see if he could, to see what they're really doing with it. But these processes that they're doing to make, medicines and stuff, they help people who might have Alzheimer's, people who are with Parkinson's disease, people who might have, you know, um, MS, um, multiple dystrophy, Down syndrome, all kinds of illnesses. They're coming up with things that can help to prolong people's lives. People with HIV and AIDS, they have pills now that can actually make it so that's undetectable. They stop funding, and well, guess what? Those medications might go dwindle and go. They stop, funding for researches and well, researching for people who have Parkinson's disease, like Michael J. Fox. He has it, and he has a foundation that they study on these things to help to prolong their lives, to make it better for people who have MS, you know, all kinds of illnesses. And if they take these, you know, fundings away, they might not have that. God forbid if we have the next pandemic, this guy don't believe in vaccinations and stuff. So yeah, you think that many people passed away from the first pandemic. This will be really bad. Then you got this guy who's yelling about doing tariffs. People, I'm gonna give you a news flash. If they're telling you that the tariffs, the other country will pay for the tariffs, they're lying. No, we are the ones that pay for the tariffs. It's a cost and an effect. For every time they heighten the tariffs, they goes to the consumers because that means that we have to buy more because they have to buy more parts. So therefore, the consumer gets more of the blunt of of the situation because they did have to heighten the price so that they could actually get the parts. Cause and effect. So guess what? Tariffs get higher. So people thinking that okay, inflation will get lower. No, my friends. If he heightens the tariffs, yeah, that is not going to lower inflation. Actually, that's going to heighten inflation. Tax exempts? Oh no, that is not going to us. That will be going to the richest people in the world. And if you are not one of them people, he don't give a two steps. We ain't getting that. Like I said, people who have kids with special needs, you better kind of keep an eye out because yeah, he's talking about taking away Department of Education. You know what that means? If he's talking about taking away the Department of Education, that means that those who have special needs, who are literally in schools that have IEPs and programs like that, they're taking that away. And it's already, and the only thing we can do is, like they say, start. He says, start with your states. I say the same. Find out who's your representative in your state. Who's your representative? Who is your senators? Who is who is your senator? Who is your representative? Who is your congressperson? Who's your city council person? Who's your governor? I know my governor here is Shapiro. I know my mayor is Sherelle Parker. There's a guy named Quinones that is a representative here. There's another gentleman that's our city council for this area and representative. You know, we have so many different people here. So get to know your council member and people. Tell them don't be afraid to call and let them know your feelings. Because, yeah, if you don't speak, you're not going to be heard. Don't be afraid to, man, listen, when they have those protests, you might want to take your kids and take yourself out there. Make it a family thing. Because them people who are screaming out there loudly, they're screaming for a reason. They ain't screaming because they trying to be a nuisance. They're screaming because they are tired. They don't want to be, cast out or, cast aside. And oh boy, shit's about to hit the fan. I mean, the people that they want to put into his cabinets, yeah, are more than desirable. Matt Gates as the Department of DOJ. You got one guy who is a Fox host for the weekend that's going to be, they want to put as the who they want to put as the Secretary of Defense. You got another girl that they want to put as an ambassador. This lady literally uh, have literally said word for word Russian propaganda. Tulsi Gab, what's that? Tulsi something. She's from New York. Oh my God. You got another guy who they want to put as the ambassador for um, for Israel. Newsflash: this guy has said some really cruel things about Israel. And don't even get me started on the Middle East and Israel and these wars, because he ain't for that. He talk about beachfronts and stuff like that. You think he's gonna tell Russia to stop at Ukraine? Oh no, he's gonna be like, yeah, yo, Russia, Ukraine, you got to give Russia what I they want. You think he really is gonna let Ukraine have what they need? No. Just like you think he's gonna be nice, he's gonna be kind to the people of Gaza? No. And no, I am not an anti Semite because I believe that people in Gaza should not be bombed like cattle. I believe that Israel should be able to defend themselves. Wholeheartedly, I believe they should be able to defend themselves, especially after October 7th. May all those people rest in peace and may their memories be a blessing. And I am so sorry to all the families out there who lost or have family who are still hostage there. But blowing and killing all of those people in Gaza like they're nothing is not cool either. And the thing about it is the people in Gaza. And the thing about it is, according to Israel, the people in Gaza, the Hamas leader is gone. So there shouldn't be a reason you should be able to bomb them anymore. It's not like they have a leader. I can see if they have a dear leader that, they're blowing up people. And because kids are saying, we don't believe that Gaza should not be destroyed, does not make them anti Semites, and they should not be able to protest and make their feelings known. Just like I don't believe that, Israel, I don't think that it's right that Israel was attacked. Two things can be right and wrong at the same time. I do think it was wrong that Israel got attacked like it did. But now it's time for, people to start coming to the table and start talking to each other. Because the only thing you're doing is just wiping each other out. And you think Trump really cares? No, he does not. Whatever makes his self interest is what he wants. And that's what he's going to do. So if he can, just have things destroyed and he can get something out of it, yeah, he will gladly put his 2 cents in it. But if ain't got nothing to give for him, he ain't putting his 2 cents in nothing. And that's the sad thing. And this crazy thing is, everybody's, you know, everybody's pointing the finger at each other about, okay, why didn't people vote for this person? Why didn't people vote for this person? You want to know why they didn't vote for this person? Because one, we still live in racism and misogyny. because how I seen it, she came with a plan. She said she had a plan. She told us her plan. I didn't hear a plan from him other than the fact that he wanted to lower the economy. Dogs and cats were being eaten. Sharks, Hannibal Lecter, and transgenders in bathrooms and sports. Oh, by the way, P.S. The thing with the transgender, that was actually him in 2019. You're welcome. Just like people did not believe that he had a plan called Project 2025. Yeah, he did. There's a 900 booklet, 900 something page booklet called Project 2025 that yes, he definitely had a hand in. Yes, it was him. That was him and his people. I don't know if people actually listen, but yeah, that was his project. Project 2025 was his. And if no one listened, now they should. It tells you all that he wanted to do. But because she was a woman and she was African American, yeah, nah, we ain't having that. Sorry, people, we ain't having that. We're not having it. She didn't tell her point of view. We ain't having it. But she did. She told you what she wanted to do. She wanted a lower prescription cost. She wanted to make lower cost for first time home buyers. He wanted to make it, easier for people to get homes. Or first time business people to be able to own their own business. But nope, everybody keep on yelling about the economy and eggs and the cost of eggs. And I can understand the cost of eggs is a lot. As a woman who lives on a budget, I live off of SSI and freaking food stamps. So yeah, I understand the budget thing. That every month you have to go on a budget and make sure that everything is paid, including having food in your house. So yeah, I understand that. But I also know that if we don't have any kind of democracy or, you don't have your basic health care, you ain't going to be here to have food to eat, to have an economy. And now we are reaping what we sowed. And I say we because we as the collective, because it's not just on one party, it's on everybody. Because once he is sworn in, I don't care how much we bitch, moan, and cry, that guy will be our president for 4 years until we vote his ass back out. And that's if we can. And now I don't hear a peep about fair and unfair election and election being stolen. Now all of a sudden I hear we have a fair election. Oh, everything went perfectly, I won by this much. But before that, it was an unfair election. People were cheating and stuffing the ballots and all of this stuff. Hell, right before he learned that he won, he made the comment that Philadelphia was cheating and then found out that Pennsylvania turned red. How stupid is that? And now you got people pissed off and yelling and arguing with each other. Why? Because we would rather about freaking high food than the freaking thing of our own bodies and our democracy. And that's the sad thing. And it did not help that we do not have media like we need to. Because he went on podcasts and different places and they ate that shit up like it was breakfast cereal. And guess what? We got the short end of the stick because of it. Because people took that shit in and listened to these stupid ads where they were saying, transgenders are going to, play in our kids' sports. And that is not even the case. You had this guy literally walking around saying about cats and dogs and ducks being eaten and had to be fact checked on that. Found out to be no, nobody was eating dogs, cats, or ducks. But that's his MO. Them against us kind of situation. Anyone that do not look like him are the enemies. He had people who were on literally. He had this guy who called Puerto Rican people, and I do not stand by this at all. Do know that to my Puerto Rican people. I think y'all beautiful. I've been to your country. Your food and your culture is beautiful. Don't let this asshole tell you nothing different. But he called their place garbage. But that's what he calls all kinds of things. He called Mexicans rapists and other things and murderers. And that ain't even true. And he made us feel like, okay, listen, immigrants are gonna come and steal everything from us. That ain't true. You know why the immigrants you are most seen? It's because they are willing to go out there and do things that we will not do. And they work hard. Some of them getting up before the crack of dawn and running out there and doing things. Some of them are in our military. Some of them are teachers and all kinds of people. And you won't even know it. But of course, he's trying to make it seem like it's other. And if we don't see that, we are definitely blind. And that's the sad thing about it, everybody, is that he is trying to tear and divide. And it's working to a certain degree. It's working. But I don't see others as my enemy. I see people as my friend or acquaintances or people that I can get to know. Until you show me otherwise, you're just somebody I'm trying to get to know. Because you don't know why that immigrant is here. You don't know their ambition. And we have more crime from our own people than we have of immigrants because they try to lay low. And it is actually statistically shown because they try to stay low because they do not want to be caught up and deported. but they made it seem that they were the enemies. And they will yell that they're being censored, or they will try to censor others. And then when somebody says something about them, they're saying that they're being censored, that they are not getting their voices heard. But it's not true. But everybody have that right under the Constitution of the United States. Just like back in the day, if you did something like what he did of having people storm a Capitol, yeah, they call that treason. That will be considered as treason in other countries and punishable by, other things. I not go there, but that is what they usually, will consider as treason because that is something frowned upon. And that is a sad thing about it. But of course, he slid right through. Do not pass go, become president. And it wasn't because he was trying to help America. It's so that he could keep his behind out of jail for all the dumb things and the choices he made. But people don't see that. So now we're stuck in an era. You say a golden age. I don't see it. I am not going to give a leaf or a branch. I'm just going to call it out when I see it. And so far, I see is a lot of crap. Half of the people that he's putting in this cabinet has no idea of what they're going to be doing. And some of them are conflict of interest. You got one woman that, like I said, they consider like a Russian asset because she repeats what the Russian says. You got one guy who they want to put as Department of you know of Defense, and guess what? He never worked in that kind of field. He did serve our country. I will say that. Thank you for your service. He did serve our country, but he has no idea on. He's going to be taking care of the biggest military department in the world. One of the biggest military departments of the world. And if this guy don't know, that is going to be horrible. Then you got this other one that they gonna put him as the DOJ. So he has a very shady situation. Let's just say it that way. This guy is very shady situation, and he is and he's going to be working with the DOJ, Department of Justice. That means he's working with FBI, CIA, NSA. You know, task force. Um, let's see, DA, which is Department of what is that? Drug and Tobacco. He will also be probably working with people who works with the border. And then, they're talking about a mass deportation of all of these immigrants. Okay, but here's the problem. If you're going to do that, you have to make sure that you have all the resources. Where are you going to put all of these people? Where's the money for this is going to come from? You know, you got to make sure that if you're going to go into these states and have this done, you got to make sure that, you have the enough force, police force, and, borders and customs to do that, or ICE. And then you got to see if the police will work with you with this kind of thing because, it, they got their own stuff going on. And if other states are like, no, what are you going to do? You can't override them and tell them they have to do that. This is their state. They can tell you no. Then what? And then you got places that are sanctuary cities. I know I live in a sanctuary city. This is known as Philadelphia. Of course, it's the birthplace of the Constitution. But everything is seemed to be screwed up. So excuse me if I am not bitching and moaning about people on YouTube. It is too much shit going on in the real world for me to be sitting there bitching about what's on happening on YouTube. People are going to do their thing as long as they are not harming anybody, doxing anybody. I say let people be themselves. And when they show you who they are, believe them. And not everybody is for everything. And, I do believe if somebody's doing something, it is up to us to say, that's just like we hold the president. We, the people, should be able to hold the president accountable for whatever he does. Now, he is not president yet, so we can't hold him accountable right now. If anything should happen in this watch until the 21st, that will be under Biden. But you know what? Until then, like I said, it'll be Biden. But once the 21st of January come, guess what? That is all under you. And the only thing I can say is buckle up and hold on to your panties or underwears because it's going to be a big nail biter. And if you got wipes, you might want to use it because you might have a lot of skid marks come the end of the year. Because if you think season one of his presidency was something, wait till you get a load of season two. And I say that with sarcasm. He sees this as like you know, a reality show or, one of them shows, but this is our lives. For us, this is what we're gonna live by and what we have to deal with, even when he goes out of office, if he does. This shit is scary. And to all you news media, whether you're independent or mainstream media, we need to keep him I foot on his neck. Fuck what all of these things are going on here on YouTube. Listen, if he's doing something, we need to keep our foot on his neck and let him know, no, we do not agree with this, and this is not how it's supposed to be. Our founding fathers had their own idea of a republic. And I leave you with this words. Benjamin Franklin said this to a woman as he was leaving the State House after signing the Declaration of Independence. They asked him, are we an autocracy or a republic? And Benjamin Franklin looked her in the eye and said, we are a republic. if we can keep it. And I feel the same way now. It is a republic if we can keep it. If you believe in your rights, if you believe in the rights of your family and all those things that are going on in your life that can and would be changed if you're here in the US, then please, please do not discourage what I'm saying. This guy is going to turn our world upside down and inside out. And the only thing I can say is that please don't discourage what I say. If you need proof of everything that I am telling you, go read Project 2025. Trust me, you will not be sorry. It might be a long read, but you might want to read it because he lays out his plans of what he wants to do in 2025 and beyond. And if we don't wake up and, start speaking back, I understand we're tired. Take your breaks, mourn your loss. But we need to stay on top of this and we need to stay fighting. Because if we don't fight, our democracy will dwindle away. And then you're going to be sitting there saying, shoulda, coulda, woulda. We need to speak up. If we don't see something we like, or we don't see something that, don't shoot for better man, yeah, you have the right to say something. And just because somebody looks a different color, speaks a different language, have a different ability or disability, just because they pray to somebody or love somebody of the same race or a different race, we should not be sitting there judging anyone. We are not God. We are not judge, jury, or executioners. We might think we might be thinking we are God, but we're not God. No one is better than anyone. Everybody has their own flaws in their own ways, but everybody is beautiful to me. Everybody has their own style of doing things. I am a writer. When I write in my books, I lay my all my books down right next to me so that I can write in my books without have to get up and grabbing the book. I am very outgoing, though sometimes I can become shy or sometimes a little frickle with people. But these day and age, do you blame me? Every time I come on YouTube, it's like, love is a battlefield. It's like it's a battlefield here. It is literally a battlefield. And it's sad because we shouldn't live like this, especially, the current state that is going on. And that is the strangest thing is that we try and try and try to make things good for ourselves and our children. But there is nothing good about tearing someone down to make yourself look good. There is nothing cool about talking at somebody, not to somebody, or talking about somebody, not to their face. If you have something to say to me, please just say it to me. I would rather be told it. Listen, you might hurt my feelings, but guess what? At least you told it to me. So, yeah, tell me what you want to say. Don't talk at me, talk to me. And then we got people who do the strangest things on YouTube. I don't know if it's clout, money, or, boyfriend, whatever it may be. We as collective people, we have to learn to get along with each other. I don't know why. We all just need to get along with each other because in the end of the day, we all bleed red when blood hits the air. When it's in our veins is blue. We all have water in us. We all have a heart. We all have lungs. We all have brains. No one is higher than anyone. Because when you start living in that glass house thinking that you better than somebody, that's when you wind up having a whole bunch of people sitting there throwing stones at your glass, shattering it real quickly. And that's the thing about it. We have got to start talking to each other, not at each other. We got to start, we got to start calling out these tragedy pimps. We should be kind to everybody we meet, even our enemies, because you never know if this is their last day on earth. We should be, wanting to teach our kids to reach for the stars and don't limit themselves. But all of this bickering and all of this, yeah, no wonder nobody wants to, be on certain apps and stuff like that because who want to go through that? Who wants to sit there and go through all of that? I know I don't. I don't come to YouTube for that. I come to listen to the different people's point of view about situations. I come on here to listen to music or do meditations and stuff like that. And, draw pictures. But no, this is horrible. And we need to do better. So let's make a vow for the year 2025 to be better with each other. Start talking to each other. Say hi to people, even if you don't know them, so to make them feel comfortable because you don't know their situation while they're here. And you don't know how long they'll be here. So, with that, I'm going to end this stream. I'm going to say good morning or good night to everybody. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Please be kind to each other. Listen to each other. Let's stop yelling at each other and start talking to each other. Go out and smell the roses and be outside sometimes. It's okay to say, you know what, I need a break from YouTube if it's too much for you. We got to stop going back and forth at each other and yelling at each other about dumb things. And it doesn't help us either when us, the subs, do it either, because we're going to different chats. Did you hear what this person said? You hear what this person said? Do you hear what this person said? And then guess what? This wound up causing more of a commotion or a rift because, it might not have been told something. It wasn't told right. So we're all sitting there like, what the fuck? We need to, have more understanding. We need to have more kindness to each other. Don't be afraid to question things. If you don't understand something, it's cool to ask questions. And if that person is willing to answer the question, then you got a 2 for 1 because not only did you get to ask the question, but you're actually getting the answer. And just because the answer is not what you want does not mean it's wrong or right. And just because one is, agreeing with this point, don't mean they're gonna agree all the time. And for God's sake, people, let's get along with each other. Let's stop saying, okay, you know what? I don't like you because you was in this chat. I don't like you because you in that chat. I don't like you because you're speaking to this creator. The fuck are we in? Grade school? We all fucking old adults in here. Some of y'all older than I am and acting like kids. We should all come to an agreement that Docs is somebody's family. Don't do that. You're a freaking weirdo doing shit like that. So, be kind to each other. Be polite to each other. Stop with this back and forth bickering. And then when you don't get your way, you try to put others in it. And then you have a whole mess because now you got somebody else's emotion tied with you and that person that is having an argument. That's just weird. Shit. Oh shit. See? I am about to drop my computer. Alright, people, I'm about to end this thing because I'm dropping my computer and shit. It's like 3 something. Oh shit, it's like 3. What is it? 3:35 a.m. in the morning. And I still can't sleep. But yo, people, we really need to be better, not for ourselves, but for the future. Not for our children, but for ourselves, and not for ourselves, but for everything that is called humanity. Because if we don't, we're just gonna be fucking. This shit's gonna just get suckier and suckier, and soon nobody will have people because everybody's gonna be so tired of this shit. They're gonna be like, you know what? We're gonna be like, we don't want this anymore. So yeah, we need to really stop and think about what we do and say and let people be who they are. And if you don't like it, there is a thing called you know if you're in a chat, there is a thing where you can you know uh time what is that hide their message so you don't see them. But people, we should be better than this. We should be adults, not children. As an adults, we put away our childish ways. We need to be more better on YouTube and the world and in general. Because if this is what we stand for, this is what we do, we all suck. With that, I say peace, love, and more understanding for the coming year. Good night, everybody. Sleep well, and I see you on the flips. See ya.